Hello, I'm Kevin Berger, author of Atheism Untenable. I'm explicitly irreligious and agnostic. I don't need apologetics because there's no need to defend an argument that I don't make, and I can't logically shift the burden of proof for a claim I don't make. If you imply otherwise, you'll remove all doubt that you're intellectually dishonest and have no credibility. This is Justified Nonetheless. Please like, subscribe, share, and ring that notifications bell.
So in an update on the debating Dillahunty front, I did receive a response from Matt Dillahunty on August 8th, on Friday afternoon, so I'll share our correspondence up until now. Mr. Dillahunty, on July 24th, 2025, I sent you a copy of my book, Debating Transgenderism and the Unfalsifiability of Identity. According to the USPS tracking information, this was delivered to you care of the line on July 26th. Thus far, I have not seen any response or acknowledgement in the form of mail, email, which is provided on the copyright page, video, or social media. I'm curious as to if and when I can expect a response to my objections presented. Best regards, Kevin Berger. To that, Matt replied, "That's a post office box for the network. Did you inform me of this before sending it? Do I know you? Did we speak about this?" And to that, I replied, "No, you do not know me. I attempted to speak to you on various topics via comments on YouTube, but you blocked me on multiple occasions after challenging me to debate you, which is documented in the book along with screenshots. It was also documented on my YouTube channel, along with video of me demonstrating what appears to be a shadow ban from the Lion's YouTube channel as well." Matt replied to me and said, "Okay, I have no idea if I'll ever take a look at the book. There are no shadow bans on the line. If you wanted a debate, you could book it or call in. But just based on the title of your book, transgender isn't the right word, falsifiability is irrelevant, and the whiny nature of your response, I'm evidently living rent-free in your head. I see no emails from you, no correspondence, which means you're not serious about a debate. Goodbye." And to that, I proceeded to unload. "Matt, let me break down for your last meal. Let me break down for you your last email and tell you everything that is wrong with it, line by line. Okay, I have no idea if you'll ever look at the book. Then you don't really care about the truth or people because these are the central ideas covered. There are no shadow bans on the line. Perhaps I am mistaken. However, my photographic and video evidence implies otherwise. I comment, and the comment is video from my own account. Yet when another account is used, the comment isn't there, regardless of how the comments are sorted by top comments, newest, etc. If that's not a shadow ban, I don't know what is. If you wanted a debate, you could book it or call in. This is the debate, Matt. My book is the opening argument. It's roughly 400 pages, supported by nearly 250 credible sources, and includes more than 80 logical syllogisms. What matters is substance, not your performance. Just based on the title of your book, transgenderism isn't the right word. Transgenderism refers to the state or condition of identifying with a gender that is different from the sex assigned at birth. That absolutely is the right word. Falsifiability isn't relevant. Falsifiability ought to matter to anyone who is a self-described skeptic, who allegedly wants to believe as many true things and not believe as many untrue things as possible, who professes to not hold any unfalsifiable positions, who claims to not have faith and in this case supposedly cares about other human beings. Is disheartening that you would be dismissive of that and whiny about your response. That's pretty rich coming from someone who demonstrably keeps avoiding me because you apparently have no valid counter-arguments. You don't want a debate, you want a stage on which to perform. I have no interest in granting you that. Again, it is the substance that reigns in the arena of ideas. I'm evidently living rent-free in your head. No, I have simply taken it upon myself to dismantle bogus arguments. I see no emails from you, no correspondence, which means you're not serious about a debate. Again, this is the debate. And not only have you abandoned your supposed skepticism, your claimed epistemology of found-heredism, and one of the core tenets of secular humanism in the service of your gender ideology, you've already begun using the very tactics that I predicted and documented in the book that you just admitted that you're dismissing without reading and with no intention of reading. That's unfortunate because it violates a philosophical principle established by William K. Clifford. It is wrong always, everywhere, and for anyone to ignore evidence that is relevant to his beliefs or to dismiss relevant evidence in a facile way. Goodbye. Hardly. I'm sorry, but you don't get to make me vanish with your magical hand-waving woo. Now, in the opening for Debating Dillahunty, as I said, I both documented the correspondence between Matt and I and provided screenshots. Here's a comment from Matt in which he, as I said, challenged me to a debate before blocking me. He also whines about me allegedly poisoning the well and pretending that he is dishonest. Yet, in Debating Dillahunty, I explain, and this is a quote from the book, from a passage publicly available for free on Patron. I have intentionally chosen this format, written, sourced, and structured, because it removes every rhetorical device Dillahunty routinely relies on when faced with arguments he cannot answer substantively. Here, Matt does not control the mic. Here, he does not get to escape scrutiny with showmanship. Here, he is accountable to reason, not applause. He can't talk over me, mute me, hang up on me, misrepresent my position, dismiss the argument with hand-waving, allegedly steelman me while building a straw man, accuse me of apathy, bigotry, or hatred in place of offering a rebuttal, pretend I am uninformed with every major claim is backed with scholarly sources, ignore the data I present because it's already cited, sourced, and contextualized, make vague appeals to studies that you never cite or produce, get away with logical fallacies because I've named them and preemptively exposed them, shift the burden of proof by claiming he's not making a claim while certainly implying one, ask loaded questions to misdirect the conversation, appeal to emotional language or performative outrage in the place of logic, frame disagreement as denying someone's identity when no such claim has been made, hide behind faux agnosticism to avoid taking a stand, move the goalpost when your original position becomes indefensible, use his audience as a substitute for substance, reframe sound bites as personal attacks, selectively apply skepticism only when it's convenient, use pre-scripted talking points to control the narrative rather than engage with the actual argument, invoke word salad when confronted with complexity, dismiss as copy pasta what is instead concisely repeated due to precision and relevance, cry gish gallop when the only gallop is his own attempt to escape layered, rigorous analysis. This is not a debate stage. This is not a call-in show. This is not a soundbite war. This is written. This is cited. This is structured. He can no longer perform. He can only respond or concede. Notice that in his correspondence, as well as our previous interaction, he is already engaging in some of the very behavior that I predicted. He's attempting to control the conversation. He's attempting to mute or hang up on me effectively. He's attempting to dismiss the argument with hand-waving. He's ignoring the data I present despite it being cited, sourced, and contextualized. He's appealing to emotional baggage with references like my alleged whining and his living rent-free in my head. He's selectively applying skepticism only when it's convenient. Guess what? It's not poisoning the well when you've already filled it and I'm just pointing out what's in the bucket. Now, I do have a couple of flowcharts that depict the issue that I am raising. In this first, we ask the question, do you object to bad faith expressions of gender identity? If the answer to that is no, then you don't really give a shit about truth either, and you should stop pretending that you do. If you do object, then the next question is, how would you even know that it's a bad faith expression of gender identity if you'll not even provide a clear definition of terms or a metric for evaluation of gender claims? Once again, you don't really give a shit about the truth, and you should stop pretending that you do. This is purely about epistemic justification. Period. It has nothing to do with denying the existence of trans persons, their experiences, their dignity, or their rights. In this second flowchart, we ask, do you object to cis men using facilities, provisions, policies, and protections intended for women, cis and trans? If the answer is no, then we don't need special facilities, provisions, policies, and protections because cis men can use them too. If the answer is yes, then the next question is, how do you intend to stop them? By what means can we exclude cis men from taking advantage of and abusing them? If you do nothing, there's no point in having them, and you're part of the problem. Based on his prior statements, I am confident in stating that Dillahunty has already taken the first right fork. My entire endeavor is aimed at getting him and others within the community to confront the second. Yet, when I attempt to do so, their reaction is typically to superimpose a moral framework, to live and let live, that trans persons deserve dignity, etc., as a bypass to the second fork. However, that framework is also rendered null without addressing that pivotal issue. If anything, his fork should be placed even earlier than my first fork, as this is the justification for the facility's provisions, policies, and protections to which my first fork alludes. My first fork starts at policy application. Trans women should have access versus cis men shouldn't be allowed to exploit. But that moral framework, live and let live, trans people deserve dignity, etc., is actually a justification for creating those policies in the first place. By superimposing his framework as he does, he's attempting to shift the topic away from the actual point of contention to something else, something to which I am explicitly in agreement, and which remains meaningless without addressing the issue that I am raising. Now, I do stand corrected on one point. I said in my book that he can only respond substantively or concede. However, he can also forfeit by refusing to engage, which apparently is what he intends to do. That being said, I'm not going to make it easy for him.